Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kathie J Show. I am Kathie J. I say it every day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this half hour. It's a joy to hang out with you. I truly mean that. And thank you. Thank you for all the love on social media. We are loving everything that you're posting and being so interactive with us. You can always catch up on shows that you might have missed at KathieJShow.com. All right, everybody. So today I want to talk to you about teenage angst. Oh, it's so hard. One minute you like this, the next minute you don't like this. Most of us will admit middle school, wow, those years were not the best, especially for me. You're coming into your own. Yes, you are coming into your own, but coming along with you are zits, weird hair, weird insecurities. So the new Disney Pixar movie, Turning Red, comes out tomorrow, March 11th, on Disney+, and it talks about these wonderful moments in our lives. Our child and family therapist, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, is here, yay! Along with her 9-year-old son, Hudson, yay! To talk about the trying times. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be talking about this.
Me too. This is your thing.
This is my thing.
And Hudson, I am so glad that you're here with us as well. Thank you for coming.
You're up.
That was our first. We had to get the nerves out real fast. Okay, so I watched it with both my daughters, ages 8 and 6 years old.
Yep.
They got completely different messages from when you watched it with your kids. You watched it with all three of them.
Yes, 14, 12, and 9.
Yes.
So this was the only one who could come, but 14-year-old daughter too.
Yes.
So
You're
lots
right.
of messages.
14-year-old daughter, that is where Mei Lee, the main character, she's around that age in the movie. Awesome. Okay, so what did you think of it?
I thought it was awesome because there hasn't been a movie that has really talked about puberty and even, going through your menstrual cycle as forward, open. There was no bones about it, what was happening.
Yeah.
And so when you're older, you got that point really clear. And when you were a little bit on the younger side, you just understood funny things were happening.
Like the poof when the panda would show up.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And that's what my girls got, those messages, which was very cool. So I need to know, why is this the worst time of our lives in adolescence? Why is it so awkward but so important?
Yes, just think about it. It's the bridge from going from a child, then you're a tween, and we all know tweens, that this is that period of time where you're having hormonal changes.
Yeah.
You change what you like. You change what you want to eat, what you want to play.
What you listen to. Your
what's
friends.
cool, your friends.
Yes.
That's a big one, the friends. You go from maybe wanting to play with dolls and, little cars, to all of a sudden that's not cool. Right? And then everybody goes at different rates. And I think that's what you don't realize. So you can have a 13 or 14-year-old that's not in puberty.
Wow.
You can have a 13 or 14-year-old that's well into puberty or has already started their menstrual cycle and seems so much more mature.
Yeah. So all the more reason why middle school teachers need to get paid more.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because everyone is at their different, and it was horrifically awkward for me. Was it weird for you?
I don't really.
You don't seem like you'd have a bad time. I just think Dr. Cheryl's always been on top of it.
Oh, right. I've always. I think I started puberty a little early.
Okay.
I was on the earlier side, and so interestingly, the data says that girls who go through puberty earlier actually typically have a harder time.
Oh gosh.
It's not a great thing. Boys who go through puberty earlier, good for them. They're bigger. They get mature quicker. They're usually faster, stronger.
Oh, okay.
So it works well for boys, not so much for girls.
Of course it does. So Hudson, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was good, and it was funny when she woke up in the bathroom. She turned into Panda.
It was hilarious. And she broke the
He
bed.
thinks that's funny, right?
Yes, right. And my daughters also thought that was funny. So the other message they missed. But it's okay, because Disney always does that in their movies, and I love that about them. So when we come back, everybody, Dr. Sheryl and I are going to discuss one of my most embarrassing moments of my life. We'll be right back. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today, you just gotta laugh. You gotta laugh about what happens in our lives. Today we're talking about coming of age. The zits, the inner confusion. It seems like everything that you used to like, you don't like anymore. You don't want to talk to your parents. It happens. Joining me today is our child and family therapist, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Yay! Okay, so in the movie, Dr. Sheryl, we both seen it, Turning Red, coming out on Disney Plus, March 11th. So the main character, Mei Lee, I loved the whole movie.
Yes.
Like, it's a great movie, everybody. Your kids are going to love it. You're going to love it. It's everybody. But she turns into a giant panda every time she can't control her emotions. To you, did you feel like the panda was like a metaphor for the menstrual cycle, time of the month? Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, the brilliance of the movie is that it was sort of a metaphor for both, though.
Yes.
Right? Because at first I thought, oh, is this just I wasn't sure.
Right.
But then I realized that she would just even get excited. It wasn't just negative emotions. She would turn into this big red panda.
Yes.
So it was like a symbol for all of the big feelings and big changes that are happening through puberty. So I loved it. I thought that was really brilliant.
I agree. And the panda shows up. I mean, every time like a cute boy comes by, she has to control her emotions. Everything that you and I remember as in that age group,
Right.
where we were like, oh, this is embarrassing. My parents are embarrassing me. Now I don't want to talk to him. Panda shows up, you know, because, and so I did think that was great because the moral was you have to control your emotions so that panda doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so regardless whether about girl or boy, this stage is just hard, right?
Yeah, considered really the hardest probably throughout your whole development.
And you were just saying, if girls go into puberty too early, it's hard for them. If boys go into it too early, it's good for them.
Yes.
That's not fair.
I know. I know. And for girls, you know, the outcomes are more like, you know, they're interested, right? Maybe in sexual relationships earlier.
Yeah.
They make different decisions. They're uncomfortable maybe with their breast development, their hips. That's a big one for girls.
Right.
Once all of a sudden they get hips.
Why don't these jeans fit anymore?
Right. Like everything, just
Everything
your body
is
changes.
awkward,
And
yes.
of course the acne.
The acne. Okay, so real fast. So you tell your embarrassing story and then we'll get to mine.
Right, I had to tell an embarrassing story.
Yes.
So when I was a kid, Oxy came out with a moisturizing version that was tinted.
Yes.
And so I thought that I could use it as foundation. So I put it on my entire face, and I remember being in 7th grade, sitting there at first period, and all of a sudden I smiled, and it started cracking, like if you put mud on your face, and it was down on here, and I was like, oh, what do I do? And so my friends were like, get that off, your face is cracking. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I wasn't talking to my parents. I felt on my own. Big
Exactly.
sisters and on my own.
You're right. That's exactly right. We all feel like we're on our own, even though there's adults there wanting to help.
Yes.
So my most embarrassing story, and I have a lot of them. So here's a picture of me around this age. This is how lucky am I? So I gave you one of my best photos. There's perm, braces, zits, bad earrings, all in one.
That's a good one. I like it.
Thank you. So this next picture coming up. So there I am, my birthday. This summer, this office, that is my grandmother, who is a nurse for the Vets Hospital, and my sister standing behind her. So I'm there in the lower part, Michael Jackson hat, of course, on.
Oh, yeah.
But so she worked at a hospital, and an old school back east kind of hospital, so a big, just square hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would go in, she worked in the tuberculosis area, so it was mostly men. All right, older men that were coming to see her and stuff. So, but it was x-ray machines. It was the coolest place to be in the summertime. But I would go and be social with everyone in the hospital. Of
course.
I mean, I love it. Even at 13, I was, and I would go talk to everybody. So I went this way in the hospital. I went and saw guests. I went into the vending machine on the 3rd floor, went all the way over here to the receptionist, finally went back down to see my grandmother. And I opened the door to walk into her office, lined with men that are waiting to have their x-rays done for tuberculosis. And she just decides to say, oh, Kathie Len, you started your panda. And I was like,
she called it your panda?
No, she said the other word, the period. But I even don't say that. But I thought it would be appropriate for that. But she said, announced it to everybody. So every single man looked at me. And to make it worse, because my grandmother was old school and a nurse, she grabbed me something that was this thick with a big belt attached to it for me to try to figure out how to use that as protection. I know.
That's tough.
God bless Grandma. So I did not have the right person helping me when it first started. My mom wasn't around. But I will always remember that moment because of the embarrassment of that.
Yes. Yeah, everyone remembers their moment.
And of course I had white shorts on.
Of course you did.
Of course it was summertime. All right, so coming up after the break, everybody, the movie Turning Red, available on Disney Plus tomorrow, also discusses the relationship between mothers and daughters. That's a big one. We'll be right back. Kathie J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Kathie J.
I'm Maylin Lee. I wear what I want, say what I want, 24/7, 365.
Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. So this is a clip from the new Disney Pixar movie, available for streaming on Disney Plus tomorrow. It is Turning Red, everybody. It's a really good movie. I watched it with my daughters. We laughed a lot. There were jokes that they got that I didn't, and vice versa. It was an amazing, and the animation's on point like they always are.
Yeah.
Dr. Sheryl, you loved the movie as well.
I loved it.
I loved it. And one of the themes of it is controlling your emotions. And that's what you were always telling us when you come on the show as a child and family therapist.
Yep.
You got to get your kids to control their emotions, whether they're being bullied or, walking into a cafeteria feeling like everyone's staring at them. Every time it's about that.
Yes.
And you wanted to tell me, Hudson, how your mom helps you control your emotions. What does she teach you?
She tells me to like breathe and take a break and just like breathe and take a break.
Now,
like
do you feel like, so if you feel uncomfortable, you can recognize that, right? A lot of kids your age can't recognize they're uncomfortable and they need to take a break.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you just start feeling, what is it?
I just like noticed something's not right.
Yeah. It's like Melee in the movie, she noticed because she turns into a panda.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit harder to hide. But in the movie, one of the big themes was also between Melee and her mother, Ming, and Ming and her mother.
Yes.
Okay, so it was intergenerational as well as mother-daughter. I watched my best friend be treated differently than her brothers. I feel like there is something between mothers and daughters. Why is that one of the hardest relationships within families?
Oh, yeah, this is a whole nother
This is a
topic.
whole nother one, right.
But I thought they did a great job, though. Like, as soon as it's like you see this pressured relationship, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when the grandmother comes into the scene, you go, oh, I get it.
That's why the mom is putting pressure on the kid.
Yes.
Right, because look at how her mom,
Right.
put her thumb on her, right?
And you can see that going down. I thought that was really great. But mothers and daughters, I mean, I think mothers, they have our own experiences and we put a lot onto our daughters.
Right.
Our sons, we feel differently, right? There's maybe that gender difference or that experience that doesn't feel quite the same. There's a different special relationship,
Right.
but it is different. And the mother-daughter relationship has a lot to do with a lot of projections, a lot of our unfulfilled needs that, or wants and desires that we put onto our kids.
Yes.
And we mean it out of the best ways, usually, but what it sometimes can feel like to them is a lot of pressure.
Why do we do that when we felt the pressure ourselves? Why do we then turn and not learn the lesson and put the pressure on our kids?
I don't think we realize it. I don't
Okay.
think that mothers realize it. It's an unconscious process a lot of the time where until something happens, like they go into puberty and all of a sudden they turn around and they yell at you.
Yes.
Or they tell you like it is and then you're like, oh.
My children better watch out when that time happens. I don't know. I'm going to lose my head. I don't know what's going to
You
happen.
have a couple years, right?
Right. Do you know how much mother sacrificed right now?
Right.
Right. And so why when people say, oh, they don't get along because they're too alike, what do you say when they say that about mom and daughters?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of truth to that.
There is.
There is a lot of truth to that because let's say I'm stubborn, and then now I'm dealing with someone else stubborn and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're just so stubborn. It takes someone else to almost be like, you don't think that they got that from you?
Right, yeah. Look at how you're acting.
Right. And so it's just hard to see in other people sometimes.
It is. What is a way that a mother could break that curse? Is it just more love? Like every time I want to say something to her, like comb your hair, I shut that up and I just hug her? What do I need to do as a parent to not make that happen to her and make her feel pressure?
So like again, a perfect example in the movie was, the mom imposing these really traditional, very, very conservative rules onto the type of music her daughter listened to, or just even what she was doodling about, just things like that. I think it's really accepting your child, whether it's your daughter or your son, but accepting them for who they are.
Right.
There's not a mini me that's going to walk around the earth, right? There's these individuals, and that's a process in a psychological process. It's called de-individuation. Right?
De-individuation.
De-individuation.
Okay.
Right? We start to individuate. Then that's what adolescence is. It's like, I'm no longer an extension of you.
Right.
You're not my mini-me anymore.
Right.
Now you're 12, 13, 14. You're your own person. You like your own music. You want purple hair. You want, to wear what you want. And that's the process. That's the calling to the parent.
Right.
And you let them go and individuate.
Okay, so do I let them, do parents out there let them go and just pray? Please say this is a phase. Please say it's a phase. Like, do you just pray through it? Or, what is your goal as the parent? To just be the rock behind them?
You know, you're the foundation. You've gotten your 12, 13 years to lay the foundation,
Yeah, right.
Now let them express that how they will. But the second thing I'll say is there's this great concept around parenting teenagers that says you're a potted plant.
Right.
And you're just there, like at home. You're there.
Yes.
They might not want to talk to you half the time, but when they do,
Yeah.
it's big and they want you to be there.
Oh, good. That's a good tip, everybody.
It's a big transition.
When the plant in the room finally wants to talk to you.
Yeah, like I'm the plant as
Right.
the parent.
Pay attention.
And I'm there and I'm just there, but then when they want to come, like I'm open to it.
You got to be open.
But you can't be thinking that you're going to parent them like you did, like when they're 9.
Right.
I don't parent him the same way as I do my 14-year-old daughter.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Sheryl. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to get into some other really cool things that Dr. Sheryl is doing to help all of you parents out there get through your emotions and the kids' emotions. We'll be right back. But first, everybody, it's time for the Colorado Lottery Trivia Question of the Week. Okay, you ready? How many jackpot games does the lottery offer? I'll give you the answer when we come back. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. So before the break, I asked you, how many jackpot games does the Colorado Lottery offer? Everybody, there's 5. There's 5 chances for you to win that jackpot. So go and play on with the Colorado Lottery. All right, so today we've been talking with our child and family therapist, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, yay, about the physical, the social, the emotional changes that come along with middle school and puberty and all that. And her son Hudson is here being our brave boy. Thank you very much. So I know, here's the thing, smile for mama.
Smile.
There we go. You are really awesome, Hudson. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So, Dr. Sheryl, one of the things in the movie, it was about communication. Communication to help kids along, communication that they didn't have from their parents and all that. When is the right time to be talking to your kids? Can you hope that the school does it?
Oh yeah, I hear that all the time. Oh, my school's going to do this. So, really, almost 9 years ago, I started this class called Start with the Talk, which was this opportunity for parents. I think 9 to 10 is a good time to start talking with them.
Okay.
And what's happening is like 4th and 5th grade, again, different levels, different speeds at which they're going.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there are those physical changes, and the emotional and social. And emotional meaning I'm moody all of a sudden. Social meaning like, oh yeah, that's really not my best friend anymore, or I don't want to play soccer anymore.
Right.
And then of course physical usually starts, with some sort of pubic hair development, breast bud development, and so or sweating underarms, they start getting stinky.
All the stuff that we all hate and just cringed about remembering. Yeah.
So start talking about might want to wear a bra.
So 4th and 5th grade is when you need to start having these communications.
4th and 5th grade.
Okay, and if you don't, what happens to kids that don't have parents that help guide them?
Well, they do all sorts of things, like they might try experimenting with shaving and you don't know it.
Oh yeah, that's
right?
bad.
They try to find bras to wear.
Right. They wear too much Axe body spray.
Yes, like way too much, right? And
Right.
the worst, of course, is they go online.
Oh, it's for
Right?
their advice, and you don't want that.
You definitely don't want that. So I always think you want to be the one to give the message and to talk about this time as exciting.
All right.
Not as scary.
So that's right. Even if it's awkward for you, try to be like, this is a great time happening for you right now.
Well, okay, we'll change that a little bit. You say it's a difficult time, right?
Okay.
It's a time of great change. However, in the end, right, when you finally get your menstrual cycle, we want to celebrate that.
Right.
So in my class, it's the sweetest class. I have the parent and the child, and they're beautiful, and we write notes to people on who we want to talk to.
Okay.
But we also write, how are we going to celebrate when this happens?
With a big pizza.
What are you going to with a big pizza?
And ice cream.
There you go.
Okay,
Right.
so one of the other themes that we can't let go before we leave is friendship, everybody. Friendship is what helped me through the hard times.
Yes.
Friendship is do you have good friends around?
Yeah.
Yeah? And how many friends you got that you count on?
I have like 6.
6, and are they all part of the same group, or do you have them in different areas for your support?
Most of them are from school, but some of them are from like my neighborhood.
That's awesome. And Dr. Sheryl, you say we as parents should be encouraging our kids to have strong friendships because it helps them when we can't be there.
Lifelong. During the pandemic, what was the number one factor? Resiliency factor, social connection.
Yeah.
And Malin's friends in this movie, Mei Li's friends in this movie, they were so amazing. They were models.
They were
models of what a good friend is.
And you know, everybody, so you need to be confident enough to let your child go.
Yes.
Right? And be the plant in the room when they come back.
Yes.
Any final thoughts you want to leave everybody with about the movie and their kids?
Well, I just think about, with the friendship thing, remember there was one friend, I forgot which one, where she said, oh, my mom, she doesn't like you. Right?
Right.
That's probably a bad message, right?
Right, don't say that.
Don't say that you don't like them. Like, even if you have a concern about a friend, talk about it. But really, my message to people is just start with a talk that that will continue and continue and continue.
Okay.
Through pregnancy, just think about it.
That's so right. Like, this is the first of many talks that you have to have as a parent. Thank you, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, everybody. To connect with Dr. Sheryl, you can find her at drsherylziegler.com. Thank you so much, Hudson, for being here. And remember, everybody, Turning Red, the new Pixar Disney animation movie, is open streaming tomorrow on Disney Plus, March 11th. Have a good one.